million under threat.
It's really hot here right now. It is every summer, but this summer's been pretty unrelenting.
Unrelenting temperatures hovering near triple digits tighten their grip across the country as tens of millions of Americans find themselves on alert for excessive heat. Plus,
que mi miedo es creíble. Mi miedo era ese, mi miedo era que no estuviera preso, que no pudiera socorrer a mi familia, que no los viera y que me pasara algo, como le ha pasado a muchísimas personas.
The Department of Justice warns Texas of legal action as humanitarian concerns are raised at the border. In tonight's Prime Focus, we revisit the origin of the governor's Operation Lone Star program. And
did you find yourself cracking up? The two of you?
Oh my God.
A lot.
I don't know how they cut the movie together.
I did.
To be honest.
I ruined most of your takes.
it's the most exciting weekend at the box office since the pandemic, and we've got an extended sit down with the cast behind the movie at the center of all of that excitement as Barbie mania takes hold. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Kana Whitworth in for Lindsay Davis tonight, and thank you so much for streaming with us. And we're following those stories and a lot more, including the trial now set for the former president in his classified documents charges, with Donald Trump expected to appear just months before the presidential election. Plus, the two words that helped a 13-year-old kidnapped girl escape her captor. And Oppenheimer, then Barbie, or Barbie, then Oppenheimer. We'll go ahead and tackle that dilemma for you. It's facing millions this weekend as we dive into the Barbenheimer by the numbers. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country covering those stories and more for us tonight. But we begin with this life-threatening extreme heat. 100 million Americans from right here in California to Florida remain under heat alerts. Desperation in the air as so many are wondering, is there any end in sight? Let's take a look at Phoenix. They've seen 22 straight days of 110+ degree weather. And while it's the desert, there has been no measurable rainfall for 4 months. Miami also has set an all-time record of at least 41 days with a heat index of 100 or more. The heat also has fueled powerful storms. Take a look at this blinding rain in Mentor-on-the-Lake, Ohio, near Cleveland, and in Davidson, Michigan. That is baseball-sized hail. It damaged more than 400 vehicles at an auto dealership. And like we've been reporting all week, the heat and the extremes are a worldwide event. Rob Marciano is tracking it all in a moment, but Victor Akendo leads us off from a sweltering Miami.
Tonight, the effects of that relentless and dangerous heat rippling across the country and the world. More than 100 million Americans under heat alerts from California to Florida. It's up to 119 in Phoenix, breaking another record. Firefighters battling the extreme heat and this inferno, propane tanks exploding. It's now day 22 of 110 degrees or higher there, and these temperatures are life-threatening. In Harlingen, Texas, near the Gulf Coast, a desperate effort to free a baby locked inside this car. The heat index above 100. Children's body temperatures can rise 5 times faster than that of adults. The baby safe. And with the worst of hurricane season still to come, the waters in parts of the Gulf and the western Atlantic are climbing into the 90s off the Florida coast, 4 to 7 degrees higher than average. It's warm.
It's over 90 degrees. This water's warm. It gives us reason for pause for what may come for the rest of the summer.
Researchers at Florida International University warn those high temperatures could harm marine life and supercharge hurricanes.
There's certainly concern that with warmer temperatures, you may see stronger storms or more frequent storms.
Scientists say human-caused climate change is intensifying heat waves across the globe. Temperatures topping 110 degrees in southern Europe, sparking wildfires in Greece, closing the Acropolis to tourists. In recent days, Catalonia, Spain, hitting 114, and in Italy, Sicily, hitting 115.
And Victor Akendo is joining us now from Miami. Victor, 41 straight days in Miami of at least 100-degree heat index. What has that been like for you?
Kana, here in South Florida, we are known for heat and humidity, but in Miami-Dade County, today we were under our second ever excessive heat warning. You just mentioned it, 41 days straight, where it's felt like 100 degrees or higher, and scientists are warning that this heat does not bode well for hurricane season yet to really ramp up yet. Kana?
All right, the problem's far from over, Victor. Thank you. And now let's get to meteorologist Rob Marciano with more on that heat and yet another round of severe storms. Rob?
Yeah, Kane, it's been popping all day in many spots in the country. Here in the Northeast, a severe thunderstorm watch has been up for a while in New York and much of New England. We had tornado warnings in Worcester County. We've got flood warnings in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and parts of Connecticut with these thunderstorms that are rolling through, and some really bad ones moving through Alabama and Georgia. Atlanta really getting clobbered in the past hour with severe lightning and wind and heavy rain. That watch will be up for the next couple of hours, and the extreme heat warnings continue. Northern Florida, across Alabama into northern parts of Louisiana and El Paso, Del Rio. I think you'll see temperatures up at over 100 degrees again tomorrow. The problem with Phoenix, we've been talking about this streak of heat. They've been without rain now for 4 months. We really need that monsoon to kick in, and that will help at least cool things off as well. But we're going to heat things up. It looks like in the central part of the country as we move into next week, the heat only expands. Denver, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and even up into Minneapolis, well into the 90s. So millions more Americans going to be feeling this dangerous heat. Gina?
All right, Rob, our thanks to you. Also tonight, former President Trump has learned that his trial on classified documents is now scheduled to start in May. That trial just one of several that he faces, even as he waits for a possible indictment in connection with January 6th. Here's ABC's Terry Moran.
Federal Judge Eileen Cannon setting a trial date of May 20th, 2024 for the classified documents case against former President Trump in Florida and striking a middle ground, calling special counsel Jack Smith's request for a trial this coming December inconsistent with ensuring a fair trial. But Judge Cannon, who was appointed by Trump, also rejecting Trump's call to postpone any trial until after the 2024 election, acknowledging the public's interest in a speedy trial. Trump's campaign claiming victory, calling the ruling a major setback for prosecutors. But the reality is Trump will now be on trial in front of the American people just months before the election. On the campaign trail, Trump's trying to turn it all to his advantage.
I consider it to be a great badge of honor and courage. I'm doing it for you. I'm being indicted for you.
But he will now have to show up for at least 2 criminal trials right in the middle of the 2024 campaign. First, in March, when he will be in a Manhattan courtroom to face charges relating to his payment of hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels. Then the documents case in May, and he's bracing for 2 more criminal indictments. As soon as Monday, as Trump himself has predicted, he could face an indictment and arrest in connection with the efforts to overturn the 2020 election, culminating in the attack on the Capitol. And in Georgia, he could face state criminal charges stemming from alleged efforts to change the election results there. That decision could come in a few weeks.
And Terry Moran is joining us now from Washington. Terry, so now, when can we expect charges in this January 6th investigation?
Any day now, Kana. That grand jury sitting here in Washington, D.C., all signs out of that place suggesting any day an indictment is imminent, perhaps as soon as Monday. And that will set in motion what is now a pretty familiar process. Donald Trump in a courtroom, arrested, arraigned, and charged. It's extraordinary. Kana?
All right, Terry Moran, our thanks to you. And there are new developments in the investigation into that Gilgo Beach serial killer case. Law enforcement now looking into whether the architect and suburban father murdered any of his alleged victims in his home. ABC's senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky has the latest.
Rex, did you do it? Tonight, a week after suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann was charged with murdering 3 women later found on Gilgo Beach, law enforcement sources tell ABC News investigators are working to determine whether he killed any of the victims in his home, where he lived with his longtime wife and children.
He had a family, he had a wife, he had 2 kids. But what he did at night, he was a different human being and a dangerous individual.
Heuermann's wife of more than 25 years, Asa Ellerup, has filed for divorce. In a new statement tonight, her lawyer called this a devastating time for the family. Prosecutors say phone records show Heuermann's wife was out of town when each of the victims disappeared. Tonight, police in South Carolina, where Heuermann also owned property, are checking whether he could be tied to the 2014 disappearance of Aaliyah Bell, the 18-year-old seen in these pictures released by police. And authorities in Atlantic City are investigating any links between the Gilgo Beach killings and the unsolved 2006 murders of 4 women working as prostitutes.
And Aaron Katersky is joining us now. Aaron, as you have mentioned, this is a case now that spans the entire country. What else are you hearing that investigators are looking into?
Sources close to the investigation tell ABC News, Kana, there is going to be a focus close to home, and that's massage parlors in the New York area that Heuermann may have visited. Investigators would want to talk to anybody who works in those massage parlors to see if they recognize the suspect or had any interactions with him. And here at his home, the authorities have been here 8 consecutive days, and they're going to be searching for clues throughout the weekend. Kana?
All right, Aaron. And next tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris visited Florida to condemn the State Board of Education after it voted unanimously to teach middle school students that enslaved people in some ways benefited from slavery, including that, quote, slaves developed skills that they could use for personal benefit. Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis is also now responding. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce reports.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris traveling to Florida to condemn the state's new education standards, which critics say water down the horrors of slavery.
They want to replace history with lies.
Under the new standards, middle school students will now be taught how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
Adults know what slavery really involved. It involved rape. It involved torture. How is it that anyone could suggest that in the midst of these atrocities, that there was any benefit to being subjected to this level of dehumanization?
High school students will also be taught that horrific events like the 1920 Ocoee Massacre, the deadliest Election Day violence in American history, where a white mob brutally attacked black voters, were acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans.
High schoolers may be taught that victims of violence, of massacres, were also perpetrators. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not have it.
The new guidelines, written to meet new standards, signed into law by Republican governor and presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. Without saying his name, the vice president accusing DeSantis of trying to create unnecessary, scary debates to divide our country.
People who walk around and want to be praised as leaders, who want to be talked about as American leaders, pushing propaganda on our children.
Now, Ron DeSantis has just responded, calling the vice president's criticisms ridiculous and outrageous. And he initially defended these new standards, saying they're robust, thorough, and factual. But when pressed on students being taught that slaves may have benefited from the skills they developed, DeSantis was quick to distance himself, saying he had nothing to do with it. Kana.
All right, Mary Bruce, our thanks to you. And also tonight, we remember a legend whose career spanned 7 decades, earning 20 Grammys, releasing more than 70 albums, always faithful to the American songbook. Singer Tony Bennett passed away in New York at the age of 96. World News Tonight anchor David Muir has a look at his legacy.
His voice was unmistakable.
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Tony Bennett on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. His signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. It would prove to be a pivotal performance. His voice, his longevity was singular, performing on stage for more than 70 years, the way you look tonight in 2015.
There is nothing for me but to love you just the way you look tonight.
His style, his warmth, consistent through all the decades.
So make it one for my baby, one more for the road.
His duets over the years would keep him relevant and young and current. It was often the other performers who were starstruck.
I'm so nervous.
In the end, of course, his work with Lady Gaga.
Heaven, I'm in heaven.
60 years between them, but just a few feet in that studio.
In a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek.
Tony Bennett was born Anthony Dominic Benedetto in 1926. He grew up in working-class Astoria in New York City. Bennett's father emigrated from southern Italy, and Bennett was just 10 when his father died. His mother was left to raise the children during the Great Depression. He told me in recent years that it was his mother who was his inspiration.
That's the reason I went into show business, because she was working so hard to raise 3 children.
As a young man, Tony Bennett would serve in the infantry in World War II, helping to liberate a concentration camp. He would come back to America on the GI Bill and go to school, working as a singing waiter. It was Bob Hope who discovered him one night and asked him to open for him. And it was Bob Hope who suggested that Tony shorten his name from Benedetto to Bennett. From then on, Tony Bennett.
Who can I turn to?
Bennett once told us about his early years, counting Frank Sinatra as a mentor and a friend.
Well, you know, Sinatra was my best friend. He gave me the best advice. He was 10 years my elder, and he was my master. You know what? He said, stay away from bad songs. He said, just do great songs, because if you do the American songbook, by doing those songs which will live forever, they're not old songs, they're great, great songs.
Because of you.
In 1951, his first #1 hit, Because of You. In 1962, he won his first Grammy with I Left My Heart in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
20 Grammys in all, more than 70 albums.
Well, just wake up, kiss the good life goodbye.
And when it came to his music, he told us he fought the critics for decades who told him to sing something more modern. But he told me he loved the classics.
I said, well, I'm just doing the Great American Songbook over and over again, because it was the greatest music that ever came out of any country in the world.
Tony Bennett would reveal he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2016. His wife, Susan, would say while his mind was slipping on stage, he was as sharp as ever.
It is progressing, you know, I'm not going to deny that. The fact that he could perform was just invigorating and life-affirming. I think Tony can still serve as an inspiration to people, that if you love what you do, whatever it is that you do, keep doing it. You don't have to hide away.
His last performance with Lady Gaga in 2021. Tony Bennett died today in his longtime apartment, his home in New York City, just 2 weeks shy of his 97th birthday, survived by his wife, his 4 children, and 9 grandchildren. And we remember what he told me just a few years back when I asked him what it was like to set a record, the oldest artist to have the #1 album in the world.
I've always wanted to be one of a kind somehow, and it happened.
I get a kick out of you. Get my kicks out of you.
And our thanks to David Muir for a beautiful look back there at an amazing legacy. And joining us now is award-winning artist David Kahn, who collaborated with Tony Bennett and knew him well, produced 3 of his original albums, and won a Grammy with him. Thank you so much for joining us here. And, of course, our deepest condolences to you on the loss of your friend.
Thank you.
Of course. And Dave, you've produced songs and albums with many great artists, but what was it like? What was so uniquely wonderful to work with Tony Bennett?
He was a professional at a level that you don't hardly ever see, maybe 3 or 4 times in your life. We would do a session. I was remembering today on the Here's to the Ladies album, and he wasn't singing his big note at the end, and I realized he was not singing it because the trumpet solo wasn't good, and he was looking at it as an entire performance. And I went and talked to the trumpet player, and the trumpet player did it good, and Tony nailed his big note. We were done. Everybody clapped. He just gave a complete performance, and he knew every single note that he was going to hit, and at the same time, incredibly kind person.
Yeah. What is the memory that you're holding on to the most right now?
The first thing I thought of was a day we were working on You Showed Me the Way. It was an Ella Fitzgerald song, and we'd finished it, and we were in the studio, and he called Ella, and she got on the phone, And she was on the speakers and said, he played her the song and she was crying. She said, "Thank you, T, I love you." It was so nice, and thinking of the transfer from her to him to everybody and how everybody shared, and the level of performance, just, you don't get to experience that very often. But it was such a touching moment between him and her.
And you're talking about the 2015 album for the ladies that you worked on him with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful moment, a special memory.
Yes.
Also, you produced a Grammy-winning MTV Unplugged album for Bennett. It was a little different sound for him.
Yes.
What did he think about that project as it was happening, and then to win a Grammy?
He had a blast, and he was, we didn't know what to expect. His son, Danny, helped set that up and has been instrumental in Tony's career, keeping things, he did an amazing job. And we got over there, and the singers started coming out, and then there we were at the Grammys, and it won. But it was great, and it was a great tribute to him and his entire career up to that point. And then he went on to do tons of stuff afterwards, of course.
Yeah, when talking about his voice specifically, I mean, it's something else, right, to wow your own peers. But composer Alec Wilder said that there's a quality about his voice that lets you in. What a beautiful way to describe that. You agree?
Yes. He had that special thing that maybe 4 people have had in my life as singers, where he sounds loud when he's singing very quiet. And it was flawless. Every note you could hear over an entire orchestra, even when he was singing quietly. And there was also his taste. I asked him once about his singing, and he said he used to follow the trombone players, which I thought was interesting because they're more fluid, and that was where his phrasing was from. He wasn't listening to saxophone players, he said trombone players.
Oh, that's interesting. A special ear there, right?
Yes.
His image really was carefully cultivated throughout his life. Tony's family, especially his son Danny, who became his manager, opened up Tony's music to a whole different audience. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I was working at Columbia. I was head of A&R there, and that's when I met Danny and started working with him and Tony. And Danny took the reins and organized everything and did a fantastic job. And Tony was so grateful, and it worked out perfect. All the duets, all the work with Gaga, all the live shows, everything was just masterful, and it made his life so powerful at the end, you know, all the way through.
We're memorializing Tony the musician, of course, but Tony the person. Even former President Barack Obama said, you know, he charmed generations with his music, but he also called him a good man. What do you want people to know about him, the man?
He was sweet to everyone. And if he got frustrated, he always took it upon himself to figure it out. He never acted out on anyone else. And you could be in with a 100-piece orchestra, and he would walk in, and everybody would just feel okay. And if there was a problem, he let it get solved, and he brought it forward in a positive way. He was just a kind to everyone. You know, when you go eat at a restaurant, and he would just be, the waiter or waitress would just feel like, so good. I was with Tony, and it was so wonderful, and they're probably still talking about it today.
I'm sure they are. A lasting legacy, of course. David Kahn, thank you so much for joining us in what I know is a very difficult time for you and all of those who are close to him.
Yes, thank you very much.
We have a lot more to talk about here tonight, including a 13-year-old who was kidnapped in Texas, taken to Florida, the quick thinking that may have saved her life. But next, humanitarian concerns at the border are resulting in the Justice Department sending a warning to Texas as a possible legal battle is brewing. In tonight's Prime Focus, we revisit the origin of the state's Operation Lone Star program.
Whenever news breaks, to crush families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
And welcome back. Today, the Justice Department warning Texas Governor Abbott that his administration's use of ballards in the Rio Grande River could merit the department to take legal action. Abbott doubling down, saying that Texas has the authority to defend their border. We spent part of this week reporting on the allegations of inhumane treatment by Texas officials, specifically those who are part of Operation Lone Star. Our Maria Villarreal filed this report for us on the human impact this program is having on migrants seeking asylum.
Grocery shopping,
Patatas, la famosa patata.
museum hopping,
La Virgen Morena.
and a nature walk. It's the little things Gaston appreciates, but nothing comes close to video chats with his wife and children back home.
Chao, Dios la bendiga. Chao, chao.
Gaston says he's living in the U.S. alone, risking death threats while working as a human rights lawyer in Venezuela, a country plagued with political corruption, high unemployment, and severe economic issues.
Que mi miedo es creíble. Mi miedo era ese, mi miedo era que no estuviera preso, que no pudiera socorrer a mi familia, que no los viera y que me pasara algo, como le ha pasado a muchísimas personas.
Gaston explains he spent years defending political opponents of Venezuela's Nicolás Maduro's regime, mostly students jailed for speaking out against the government.
En Venezuela era un abogado en ejercicio, dedicado a la defensa de los estudiantes. Defendíamos de manera gratuita sus intereses judiciales, al punto de llevarlos a libertad por las malas prácticas que hacía el régimen contra estas personas solamente por su disidencia.
Gaston worried it was only a matter of time before he ended up in a cell himself. He fled Venezuela, making his way to the U.S.-Mexico border to seek asylum in the United States. He swam across the Rio Grande hoping to surrender to U.S. border officials, but instead, he was arrested by troopers with the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Yo le presenté mis credenciales, mira, yo soy abogado, aquí está mi credencial, y lo único que me dijo fue, te tengo que detener, coloca las manos atrás.
Gaston says what followed was 33 days of hell.
Te puedo decir que es la discriminación más terrible que puede sufrir un ser humano privado de su libertad.
In a statement to ABC News, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice says they've worked with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement and the Texas Commission on Jail Standards to ensure identified state facilities meet state standards to hold pretrial confinees and post-conviction inmates.
Gaston spent 5 weeks, and that's actually on the low end. We've had clients that have spent months in those prisons awaiting trials, months in those prisons unable to afford bond. And these are people that are not criminals.
Kristen Eaton represented Gaston's case against the state once he was detained.
The current federal law authorizes somebody to do exactly what Gaston did, which was to come across the river and seek asylum. And so we have clients all over the country, again, that are here and able to apply for asylum and wait in the United States.
Gaston is just one of thousands of migrants who have been kept in detention centers like this one, using Operation Lone Star, a Texas-run border security initiative created by Governor Greg Abbott.
Texas will be taking its own unprecedented actions this month to do what no state in America has ever done in the history of this country to better secure our state as well as our nation.
In May of 2021, Abbott filed a disaster declaration based on the influx of migrant traffic in Texas that covers 48 Texas counties, 32 of them along the border. The declaration leading to the creation of Operation Lone Star. I got you. A program where an estimated 10,000 soldiers from the Texas National Guard and Department of Public Safety are being used for immigration patrols in addition to federal agents.
Texas has essentially militarized the border to make apprehensions and arrests, primarily of migrants, for criminal trespass offenses.
Governor Abbott says the program is intended to stop smugglers. Since the federal government, not states, has the power to enforce immigration law, Texas troopers can only make arrests if migrants trespass on a private property.
Allí no había ningún aviso que dijera que eso era propiedad privada, ni que yo haya tumbado una pared, ni haya penetrado una cerca.
According to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, to date the program has made just over 4,100 total trespassing arrests.
We have clients that are arrested multiple times for criminal trespass. They're released and they come back. There's really no deterrent value in these criminal trespass prosecutions at all.
The strategy of expelling migrants does not appear to have slowed immigration, but the price tag of funding the operation continues to go up, with Texas taxpayers fronting the cost.
Texas has spent more than $4 billion on Operation Lone Star. That is a lot of money that is being spent, that is being taken away from other areas of need in Texas.
In April 2022, nearly $500 million in additional funding was approved by Governor Abbott and state leadership for the operation. Gaston, meanwhile, hopes that he can one day make a living for himself in the United States and support his family back home.
Por milagro de Dios, ha querido que mi vida continúe, que ayude a los míos, que ayude a mi familia, que ayude a mi país, y que de una u otra manera pues permanezcamos aquí en Estados Unidos a pesar de todas esas diferencias y todos esos acontecimientos que han pasado. Gracias a Dios no me ha ido mal.
And our thanks to Maria Villarreal for that reporting. Still ahead here on Prime, how the Biden administration and major tech companies are coming together to create safeguards for artificial intelligence. And he's not just the mayor of Burbank, California. He's also an actor and SAG-AFTRA member. Mayor Constantine Anthony tells us what the strikes have been like for his city and his union. And instead of choosing between Barbie and Oppenheimer, many fans are turning it into a double feature. We take a look at the so-called Barbenheimer sensation by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
in Putin's Russia.
on the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
I came out of jail with a plan. I was gonna put every piece of energy I had into music.
Give it up for Jelly Roll!
If I wasn't a musician, I'd be dead. This was my best bet to really have an impact. I'll cry with you. Who would have thought I could help people? I needed help, you know? I still need help.
Somebody save me. I love you.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
It was the ideal marriage. Little did I know I was married to a man who had done something so horrible that it would devastate our lives forever.
Teacher of the Year is now charged with sex crimes.
Only on Hulu.
He was living a double life.
The shocking story behind a #1 true crime podcast.
Prostitutes, escorts. He even cheated on me the week of our wedding.
Betrayal, the perfect husband.
He had a lot of fantasies.
Now streaming only on Hulu.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kayna Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Reporting from Manhattan, I'm Diane Macedo. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
And welcome back. It's the double feature phenomenon everyone is talking about. Barbie and Oppenheimer, or is it Oppenheimer and then Barbie? Well, either way, it could be the biggest box office draw since COVID and perhaps reignite our passion for moviegoing. Here's Barbenheimer by the numbers. Start with July 21st. It's really the perfect premiere date for a summer blockbuster and the perfect excuse to beat the heat in an air-conditioned theater for a little while. About 5 hours, actually. Greta Gerwig's candy-coated live-action Barbie clocks in at 114 minutes, while the running time for Christopher Nolan's gritty biopic Oppenheimer is 180 minutes on the dot. And while internet marketing and viral memes may be hyping a showdown, the two films are really more frenemies here. AMC reported this week that 40,000 moviegoers have already purchased tickets to see both on the same day. Now, of course, one will come out on top, and experts think Pink. Estimates vary, but Barbie, starring Margot Robbie, could make $110 million. That's a big splash at 4,200 North American theaters. While Oppenheimer, featuring Cillian Murphy as the father of the atomic bomb, is aiming for a slightly less explosive $50 million opening at 3,600 cinemas. The big winner, though, really could be Hollywood. Theater revenue was up 27% last year over 2021 and is up another 20% in the first half of 2023, but the industry has yet to rebound to pre-pandemic levels and, of course, is now facing strikes involving both writers and actors. So the question for you, if you're hitting the double feature this weekend, do you start with Barbie's Dream House or at the Lab in Los Alamos? My producer, Matt, says he's starting at the Dream House. And coming up later, Deborah Roberts will have a closer look at why Barbie World is causing so much buzz with an interview with the A-list cast. Now, we have a lot more to get to here tonight on Prime. Body camera video. Oh, it shows heart-stopping moments as a police officer rushes to save a boy from drowning after he fell into a river. Also, a 26-year-old man is accused of posing as a high schooler. The charge is that he's now facing after alleged sexual interactions with students.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the Capitol.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kayna Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready, America. Every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes.
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis, streaming weeknights.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
How cute.
Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
And welcome back. A 13-year-old kidnapping victim's quick thinking leads to her rescue. Also, dramatic video shows an officer rushing to save a child from drowning. And a 26-year-old is accused of posing as a high schooler. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
New rules
tools for artificial intelligence. President Biden says 7 major tech companies have voluntarily agreed to add safeguards to identify AI content and share data with the public and government. Executives from Google, Amazon, Microsoft are among those on board. The president also called on lawmakers to finalize bipartisan legislation to regulate AI.
It's a morning Touch-Yoon will never forget.
I feel it. I had goosebumps.
Sunday, July 9th, she came to work at the Easy Wash laundromat. That's when a man approached her and asked where he could grab some food. That man was accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl he abducted at gunpoint in Texas and drove to Southern California. Police say when the man walked into the laundromat, the girl wrote this sign and placed it in the car window. A Good Samaritan spotted the sign and called police. Police responded immediately, arresting the suspect and recovering this replica firearm and a pair of handcuffs.
It is a story of a real-life lifesaver, and that is Miami police officer Ernesto Fernandez. This is body camera footage from another Miami police officer arriving on the scene on the edge of the river after Officer Fernandez saves a child's life.
So he stops his car, looks inside the river, sees the child inside the water, struggling.
The officer jumps in.
Immediately jumps into the water, doesn't even think about it, and that's what it's all about.
2 men now behind bars accused of sexual assaults along the west side of Manhattan. Detectives say 21-year-old Jonathan Yahir Cortez Lopez attacked 2 women in a span of 5 hours inside Riverside Park on Tuesday. Investigators were able to track him to a building on West 125th Street. Police arrested 39-year-old Luke Tachim Nabusi for allegedly tackling a woman to the ground in Riverside Park South. Both men are charged with attempted rape, sexual abuse, and assault, among other crimes. Neither of them had any prior arrest.
Lincoln police announced the arrest of 26-year-old Zachary Scheich on Thursday afternoon for multiple sex crimes. Police say Scheich had posed as a 17-year-old high school student and enrolled in 2 different Lincoln high schools under the alias of Zach Hess. Police say they found Scheich on Thursday at a library and arrested him. He's being accused of sex crimes against multiple minors.
Courtney Black says she received a text message appearing to be from her bank, Chase. She says the caller identified himself as a Chase employee. Black says she saw all the money in her accounts disappear. Black says the scammer knew her date of birth, the last 4 digits of her social security number, her Chase account number, and her balance.
Chase Bank tells ABC News these types of scams are heartbreaking. We urge all consumers to ignore phone, text, or internet requests for money or access to their computer or bank accounts. Legitimate companies won't make these requests, but scammers will.
And also this evening, we're taking a closer look at the writers and actors strike simultaneously gripping Hollywood right now. Burbank, California Mayor Constantine Anthony is leading the city at ground zero for these strikes. He's an actor. He's a SAG-AFTRA member himself. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Listen, this is a busy time for you, clearly. It's also a toasty time out here in California. And we want to talk with you first, maybe as a member of the Actors Union, if we can, right? We've covered a lot of the biggest issues that we're seeing here. We're talking about AI. We're talking about residuals. But the studios say they have offered up a historic pay increase. What's your response to that? It's laughter.
Sure, that's what the studios say. I've been a SAG member since 2006, so I was on the 07-08 strike lines, and we were fighting for the same stuff then. Back then it was, we want a portion of DVD and Blu-ray sales, and they were refusing to give it to us. They eventually capitulated, and now we've moved on to streaming. Right now, most working actors do not make any money off of the streaming services. The writers don't, the directors don't. Anybody who's working above the line, they put in their labor, they create all this wonderful content, and then they're just not getting that pay back to them.
And that's what you're seeing as an actor. But when we talk to you as a mayor, there are businesses that are not, you know, involved in making the movies, but they support the people that do. We're talking about the coffee shops, the flower shops, the dry cleaners. They are suffering. What are you seeing as a mayor?
So this is the secondary economy that I've been talking about for weeks now. We have dry cleaners, we have restaurants, we have auto repair shops, daycare centers that are just empty because the people who normally work in the studios simply aren't working. They don't have any pay to facilitate the economic cycling of money in the local economy. But further from that, I think there's a big change from this strike versus the one 15 years ago, because the local industry knows that if the writers, if the actors, if the people working in the industry get better pay, then that means there's more money in their pocket, and they will be spending that locally.
You're also getting a lot of support from other labor unions. We're hearing this is the summer of strikes, right? But we're seeing, you know, some of LAUSD, the teachers union, the service workers, the hotel workers coming out and supporting you. And in a way, that sort of highlights what this strike is really about, right? This is about the working actor, not the giant megastars.
Yeah, and I want people back at home who maybe don't live in New York or LA, they're struggling to put food on their table and keep a roof over their head. Why is it important for them to see, you know, George Clooney and Tom Cruise out on the strike lines? Well, we're trying to bring notice to all of the executives, all of these giant corporations, that we aren't going to take it anymore, and you shouldn't either. UPS is going on strike, Starbucks, Amazon. It's a movement.
Let's talk about this. We've seen in neighboring Los Angeles, neighboring to us here in Burbank, the studios are allegedly trimming trees to reduce the shade, to make it a little bit harder for picketers. There's certain things that are allegedly going on like that, accusations across the board. But as a mayor, in your position, how do you straddle the line between supporting the picketers, supporting SAG-AFTRA, but also supporting the biggest employers in your city?
So in Burbank, we have huge economic impacts with what's going on with the studios. Obviously, Warner Brothers and Disney, we have Nickelodeon, we have Cartoon Network. They're all major employers in the city, and we do very well. We're actually a very pro-business city, and we work with all of our big studios to make sure they have the economic growth that they need. But at the end of the day, the voters, they're the members who work in those studios. They're WGA and SAG and IATSE members, so they put me in this seat. And so for me, I have to be able to balance that, and we have to be able to protect the people that are out there doing their First Amendment picketing.
Where do we go from here? Is there an end in sight, do you think?
The last strike in 07-08 lasted just over 100 days. The strikes back in 1960, where it was a dual strike, were over 3 months as well. We're closing in on that. We're just past day 80. So we think there's gonna be a break soon. If you've noticed, a lot of these big streaming companies, their stock has taken a huge hit, and I can't imagine that they would go any further.
Well, Mayor Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time tonight. All right. Also, we have a quick note for our viewers. ABC's parent company, Disney, is a member of the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, negotiating with SAG-AFTRA and the WGA. Also, late today, the Alliance issued a statement saying that they've offered SAG-AFTRA members more than $1 billion in wage and other compensation increases and unprecedented protections against AI. They also called SAG's claims about negotiations misleading. And all of this is happening at the same time as people across the country that are putting on their very best pink outfits this weekend and heading to theaters to see Barbie. The wildly popular doll is getting a live-action film, bringing Barbie out of her dream home and into our reality. ABC's Deborah Roberts spoke with the cast about the highly anticipated movie and got a first-hand look at the Barbie world.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Who'd imagine that Barbie would be at the center of summer's most anticipated movie?
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
So much pink. So much pink. Barbie Land is where I caught up with the star-studded cast.
And we were in no danger of a water accident.
No.
Look at this.
So safe.
Look at that.
Look at that, right? Exactly.
I'm totally fine.
You're like Chris Angel or something. It's
Totally
just...
fine. And I'm not a strong swimmer.
Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling star as Barbie and Ken, the iconic dolls who've ruled in Kid World for 60 years.
Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
People have complicated relationships to Barbie. Barbie is a global cultural icon. Many people love her. Some people, not so much. How did you sort that out?
I think that's part of what made this project exciting, and part of the reason that we wanted to make a Barbie movie to begin with was, A, she's so well known. It's such a globally recognized name. But more than that, I was both scared of and excited by the idea that people were going to come into this movie already feeling very strongly about the protagonist.
Barbie, with its vibrant colors, offers a big message, challenging stereotypes, all part of the vision for Oscar-nominated director Greta Gerwig. Were you reluctant at all, given the roles that you've played over the years?
I admire Greta and Margot so much that it was really just an opportunity to work with them was too good. If I was reluctant, it was I doubted my Kenergy. But I had to trust that they would guide me.
There's a lot of talk in the movie about the patriarchy. That word is used a lot. In the film, the Supreme Court is all women. There's a woman president.
Turn to the Barbie next to you. Tell her how much you love her. Compliment her. Reporter Barbie, you can ask me any question you want.
Well, how come you're so amazing?
No comment. Ah!
I mean, I love seeing the Barbies, but it's also a way to look at something through the eyes of the Kens where you think, oh, I see what they've done there. Yeah, it's not so great when you're the accessory.
With its campy humor, the film, budgeted at about $100 million, goes all out, while also reflecting the diversity Mattel has incorporated in its doll line in recent years. Many of us remember, I certainly remember when Christy hit the scene. I mean, a black gal in Barbie's universe. You played President Barbie. What did you make of that, and was it significant to you that this film was sort of one that was all about inclusivity and it's not the classic stereotype, just the stereotype of Barbie?
Of course. I mean, I think the only hesitation was just like, oh, where do I fit in this particular Barbie world, and how, like, what will the Barbie world look like? Because, you know, no one wants to be kind of tokenized in that world. But stepping onto that set, that was part of the beauty, was that there was just so much representation. There was so much of everyone. I grew up with my mom and her sister, my mom and my aunt, instilling, like, you have to play with black Barbies. And I didn't understand, I guess, the significance of that was more for them, of just not having the opportunity to play with dolls that look like them. Christy walked so I could run for president.
Issa Rae joined on screen by comic icons like Kate McKinnon, who plays Weird Barbie.
Getting to wear, like, a kooky outfit and kooky wigs and kooky stuff on my face, that's like where I feel most at home.
Hi, I'm Weird Barbie. I am in the splits. I have a funky haircut and I smell like basement.
But America Ferrera has perhaps the most memorable scene as Gloria, a mom who reminds us of the struggle modern-day women grapple with every day.
Mom, are you really gonna let Barbie take you and your tween daughter to an imaginary land? Yes, and you wanna know why? Because I never get to do anything.
I ask your co-stars this, and I want to ask you, fill in the blank. Barbie is?
All of us. I'm a young, brown daughter of immigrants, short, grew up overweight and poor. I had no access to this narrative. And something has shifted enough where there's now space for somebody like me in that story. I just hope that people love it, and I think they will.
You should feel good enough. Whoever you are, you shouldn't feel you have to fit into a mold, fit into a box, or fit into somebody else's idea of who you should be or how you should fit into the world.
The message ultimately is, you're good. You're good as you are.
You can't argue with that message, and our thanks to Deb Roberts for that. And that's our show for tonight. I'm Kana Whitworth. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. And you can always find us on Hulu, Roku, the ABC News app, and of course, on abcnews.com.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live